everybody, this is Diane Sansom. I'm the author and creator of the Woman on Purpose Life Mastery Program. And as you're reading my blogs and getting to know me, you'll find out more and more that I'm all about helping people live more purposeful and intentional lives. That's my thing. So my life purpose that's attached to that is helping other people, actually championing other people to live their version of what they think is an extraordinary life. So let's start by talking about a place called the Crossroads. We all know the Crossroads, but let me just explain a little bit more about it. It's when we sort of wake up at some point in our life, and it happens a bunch of times in our life, but we kind of wake up and we have this sense like we're missing something or something's missing in our life, and just knowing that there's something more. So that's the Crossroads. And it's really the place that's a great opportunity, because what's happening is we're realizing that we want to make a change in our life. That's a big thing, right? Because we're really comfortable in our life, but all of a sudden there's something going on, like a little unrest. So stay with me, because it's actually a good place to be. So let me give you some examples. Some examples could be somebody's had a career that they may have enjoyed for a while, but all of a sudden they realize that the arc of that is over, or maybe they never really feel like they got into the right career in the first place and they're just not happy. Another kind of crossroads could be, you're living what you think is a happy married life, raising kids, and then you find out your spouse wants a divorce, and there's a dream that's died, and you're trying to figure out, well, now what? What's the next dream? So it doesn't always have to be super drastic, but a lot of those kinds of things suddenly wake us up to something's not right. Health is another one. Finances, we don't have enough money to kind of live the lifestyle that we're wanting to live. So when we are unhappy enough at the Crossroads place, that's where we step outside our known world and we begin to look at other possibilities that are out there. So the new possibilities are out of our comfort zone. So what happens at the Crossroads? We get a little unhappy, we step outside, and we begin to kind of, loosely research, think about, mull over, talk to maybe a friend about if, going back to the career example, well, if I wasn't doing a sales career, what else is out there for me? What do I do? So maybe we start to research that a little bit, but what happens is at some point along the way, we're going to get far enough out of our comfort zone that it's going to feel super uncomfortable. Now, some people at this point, they will go back to that Crossroads place and just stay in their misery, because at least it's a misery they know and they don't have to be uncomfortable outside of their comfort zone. It's just too much. But for those of us that are willing to stay in that uncomfortability of, I don't know how I'm going to go towards what's next, I just know I'm going to. If you can stay there, that's where the magic happens. And that's really what I'm all about and my program's all about. So here's the problem again, kind of in that place. So you've stepped out and you don't know what to do next. Well, that's a problem, because let's say, back to the career example, you want to go from sales and go to some sort of an art career because that was your major in college. What are the first steps? How do you go about it? How can you make enough money to support your current lifestyle? I mean, there's a whole bunch of things to kind of think about and unravel it. So here's the thing. We are not, when we want to make a change in our career, it's always going to impact the other places in our life. There's more than one dimension to our life. We have our career dimension, but we also have our personal life, our health, our finances, our fun, things that we're up to. And then we have relationships to think about. A career change impacts us personally and also our relationships. So the problem is, what steps do we take to kind of unravel the hairball of what do I do? And then how do we kind of figure out all the other parts of our life? So here's the solution to that. What's needed is a structure. We can't just kind of willy-nilly, try this, try that, try the other, and then hope all our problems are going to be solved. We need a proven structure that we can lean into, that we know if we just follow some simple steps, we just go one step at a time as we go towards our goal. And it has to be something that really supports us well. So the first thing that's important in this whole process, I just want to walk you through right now. So if you have some paper available and a pen, just pause this video for a second and go grab that. And let me just move my notes over to the side while you go do that. Okay. Step one, we have to be clear on exactly what it is we want. So not only do we have to be clear on exactly what we want, but then we need to be clear on how we're going to go do it. So with clarity, let's start with this. You'll have more time to think about this later, but just for now, just whatever comes to mind, when you think about right now in your life, the overarching change or reality change that you would like to make in your life, or dream that you'd like to go after, or desire, what comes to mind? Like, what's the thing that's kind of woken you up at the crossroads of, this doesn't make me happy anymore. I'm lonely because my relationship is over, or I need a new career, or I got to make some changes to my health. Like, what's the overarching thing? Okay, so you have that. Now let's break it down a little bit more. When you think of what you might be longing for yourself personally, what are some things that you would like to see be a little bit different in your personal life? Do you feel like you've stopped working out and you just don't feel like yourself? Have you given up art or music or something that's always made you feel alive? Is that missing? Finances, health, fun. Do you see your friends regularly? So what might be something that you would like to create for yourself personally? So that's one category, one dimension of life. The next one is our key relationships. That could be our parents, our kids, our spouse, very, very close friends, very inner circle people. What might be something that you're desiring to have more of in that dimension of life? So as we're going through these dimensions, do me a favor and just write them down, because it's really important to actually write goals down. Third dimension is our work in the world. Now that can certainly be a paid for career, but if we're retired, we're not supposed to just be all washed up, kind of sitting in the corner watching TV all day. We have to be up to something. So what's the thing that you're longing to have for your work in the world? Now, those three dimensions right there comprise what I call the goal line. They're actual physical things that we want to change in our life. But I want to share with you two more dimensions that fall under what I would call the soul line. It's how we're growing personally on our way to achieving some of those physical goals. So one of them is community involvement. Like what floats your boat, or what confronts you, or what out in your community do you look at and you think, man, I just would like to help make a change in some way. It could be big or it could be small, but community involvement. And then the last dimension I want to share under the soul line is spirituality, our spiritual self. Who are we being as we're growing into our physical goals? What are we doing to develop more of our character and step more into our values? So those are what make up the 5 dimensions, because we're very holistic beings. We're not just unidimensional, and you can't just say, okay, I want to make a career change and think it's not going to affect any of the other dimensions. A big key to success, all experts agree, is we have to write down our goals. So what I've just shared with you about the dimensions and kind of thinking about getting some clarity around what you want, all of that is in my first module of the Woman on Purpose Mastery Program. There's a total of 8 modules, but in that first one, I'm going to give you a lot more material about the importance of we have to write down our goals and we have to get really clear. So right now you're taking a first stab at it, but it's the essence of success. So that's why there's going to be a whole bunch of worksheets that you're going to get to capture insights and learnings throughout the process. And this very first one is called the Road to Adventure worksheet, but for now you can just write it out on your own piece of paper. So in my next video, I want to share with you the next step. So right now we've talked about, okay, here's clarity around what I want to achieve, but gosh, here I am over here. Here's my current reality, and it's kind of far away from where I want to go. So that is our opportunity gap. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. Thanks for joining me. Okay, bye.